NFL quarterback to Hollywood, to the mayor's office, and now behind the mic at KXEX. This is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Free at last! Free at last! Thanks Almighty! We are free at last!
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now, 559-899-1550.
Hey, welcome to Alan Autry No Retreat. It's Thunderous Thursday in Fresno, California. Along with, boy, we are just so thrilled and honored and privileged when we're able to have the boss, Triple G. Go Guillermo here. Welcome.
I love my new moniker. Triple G.
It fits you. Triple G, baby.
That's right.
Go Guillermo, baby.
Yeah.
You know how many people say that or listen to you every day? When you go off on one of your, well, some people call it rants. I call it just a stream of brilliance.
Some people call it rants. Some people call it B.
If you ever need a good hickey on your butt, you always just go to me. I'm there to do it, man.
Well, thank you, Alan. Thank you.
No, but it's just great to have you here on Thunderous Thursday. I want to say hi to a few folks out there. My cousin Brad out of Tulare. You listen quite often. Bullet Bob, when he's not in the here in the office here at KXEX, he's listening. And just appreciate all the folks around the country. Debbie, sorry we didn't get to you in Alabama yesterday. We just ran out of show. That happens now and then. Let's kick this show off. A lot to talk about, obviously. Not slim pickings for topics in radio and podcasts and TV nowadays.
I know what you want to talk about. I just know. No.
I brought you a present.
Animal crackers.
Now, this is from what's left of the Barnum and Bailey circus. It's gone. The only thing left is cookies. You know why? Because finally, the energy, whatever, some of the East Coast, karma, whatever, caught up. You imprison animals.
Oh,
you go
man.
away. There it is. And if you'll notice on the Barnum and Bailey box here, great cookies, by the way. I've been pounding them. I got this to do this little bit with Guillermo. And I went through like 3 or 4 of these things. But you notice even in the Barnum and Bailey, the background, they're all happy. You see the gorilla's got a smile on his face. The giraffe, a smile. Look at the big ear-to-ear grin on the lion. The elephant with ears out. You know when ears are out, that means an elephant's happy.
I did not know that.
I didn't either. I made it up. But here you got the zebra, just happy because behind them, what? You don't see bars. You don't see a little cage. You see Africa. As Mark Levin would say, you see Africa. These socialists, these communists that keep these animals in prison.
My God.
But this is my gift to you to start off the show.
Thank you. I will.
And just eat them just like you've eaten their future.
Yeah.
And all of you supporters of Measure Z.
You know, I wonder, are the elephants
80%? Am I going against the grain here?
Yeah, just a bit.
To keep these animals in prison past 80% in Fresno. 80%. I was part of the 20% that said, well, I'm not going to tell you how I voted. I don't need to tell you.
Well, let me open it. Let me see if the elephants are just as disorganized in here as they are in the Republican Party.
They're yeah, there's no donkeys in there. Hey, listen, we got to get something out of the way we should have talked about yesterday. I know on this show and I know on your show, over the past 2 years plus, we've had a little bit of criticism for Dr. Fauci.
Just a tad.
But never did we demonize Dr. Fauci and call him a bad, evil person or anything like that. We never felt that. Just his policies, we felt, hurt Americans. It hurt kids. It wasn't based on science. And you see somebody that politicized and that really, God, I'm trying to use a fine word, but devious in how he translated the data for an end result, which was total control of our lives, kids not being able to go back to school and scarred forever. But Dr. Fauci's got COVID, and I don't wish anything on Mr. Fauci other than a speedy, healthy recovery. What say you?
I can't say what
You're
I really
hesitating. No, we got to wish him a recovery.
I do. I
Come
do.
on
How?
now.
No.
No. You don't wish him.
No.
Oh, Guillermo.
Am I the only? No.
Your mama's going to. Get on you.
No.
Mrs. Moreno is going to have a lot to say to her son today after the show.
I believe that I don't believe all COVID deaths are his fault. I don't believe all COVID deaths are anyone's fault. But he does bear a large responsibility because we saw one of our good friends die in the hospital.
I agree, but he's got COVID now, so we shouldn't pull for him.
I know, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be like, oh, man, I'm going to send you
you don't want him to die.
Well, I don't know. I don't want him to. I don't know.
Say it. You don't want him to die.
I can't say it.
I can't let him. What?
I can't.
You don't want him to die.
Listen, I wish him the best.
Okay, let's leave it at that.
That's it. You're going to get out of me.
Help me.
But it's one of the, like if Adolf Hitler. And I'm not. If Adolf Hitler were to get sick, and we're like, well,
you started to say I'm not comparing him to Hitler, but you just did. You know when it came out of your mouth, you're trying to grab back those words. I've been there. As soon as they come out, you're like, yeah. I do that with my wife a lot. I'll say something just like, oh God, come back in my mouth. I've never compared her to Hitler.
Well,
although
no, you shouldn't. She's a sweetheart. But you get what I'm saying, right?
Boy, I hope you know what you're saying. I hope you know what you're saying.
I don't have any ill will or any malice in my heart.
Thank you. You can hold this. You can say, listen, I think he was a dismal failure and caused a lot of deaths by his policies and how he conducted himself at the CDC. And I wish him a recovery. I don't wish him death. That's God's.
Agreed. Yeah,
that's God's job of when he takes Dr. Fauci home.
No comment.
Okay.
Did anybody have not a comment in the Bible? We got to ask.
What?
We got to ask Sir Lawrence of Powell.
Well, Sir Lawrence of Powell. Well, they tried. Moses tried. Paul tried.
Yeah, that's true.
They tried not to get out of the mission. But it says, in this. Hey, Dr. Fauci, get well. We wish you the best physically for you and your family. Our wish is that you not go back to the job because I do feel that your policies. We all make mistakes, and sometimes some of us make really big mistakes, and the consequences. Not all mistakes are equal.
Yeah, true. No,
they're not. They're not.
I'm gonna feel bad if something happens to him now.
Okay,
thanks a lot,
Alan. I'm giving you a chance to walk that back.
Get better, buddy.
Okay. All right. Way to go.
We're rooting for you.
All right. We see that recession. Most of the experts say that recession is, if not happening right now, is just right around the corner. Even Larry Summers, the most trusted economist by Biden, who is in the business of watching out for every Democratic leader out there, has even said that, no, it's coming. It's just going to be how bad. But you know what? Now I'm going to wish something not too good on some folks. You got to make, those of us are old enough, you're not old enough to remember this. Remember the recession in the 70s, Jimmy Carter. It was rough. Gasoline lines, quarter mile long. I get double-digit interest rates, double-digit inflation. It was not fun at all. But through that recession, and we won't get in and enumerate them right now, there were some things that happened that were good. There was lights that went on in people's heads. There was things that were discovered, things that were paid attention to that heretofore had been ignored in the economy and in society in general. And many of those, including politically, were learned. And when Reagan took office, those were implemented, those changes, and including tax cuts and that sort of thing. That's just one. And we came out of that recession to one of the most prosperous times in the history of the country, the 80s. But there's one segment of this society that is so well-funded, so powerful, so just drenching in money, that is so materialistic, so, I'm going to even say the word, and I'm not going to walk it back, evil in its love of money and power, and that is the sports world. I'm ready. I hope this recession just knocks the living daylights out of the sports world. Well, what do you mean by that? I mean, all of these overpaid athletes making hundreds and millions of dollars, NBA, Major League Baseball, National Football League, that have priced their sport so high that an average person, Guillermo, can't take their family of two, much less four, to go see any professional sport. And it's going to take, that there was a dot-com bubble in 2001 or 2002, somewhere around there. And then there was the housing bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely a sports bubble. How can you keep playing? You know what the average NBA salary is for like the 11th guy on the bench that never gets in the game? $967,000.
To warm a bench.
And you wonder, they did to take it, and there's kids out there that would love to see a game that their parents will never be able. Like I said, for parking, it's like 40, 50, 60, some places $100 to park.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that these pro athletes and this whole pro sports thing could get a real smackdown economically and have a Build Back Better for the sports world. What do you think?
I don't think it will, but it's you raise an interesting question. When the recession comes, or whether it's here or not, I believe it is here, and you start seeing individuals with less disposable income. I mean, people are already changing driving habits. We know the statistics are out already. People aren't driving as much as they are. Is that going to change with recreation? I hope it does, and I hope it really changes watching habits. But no one's going to cut their cable. And here's the thing with
sports though. To just be able to go to an actual game. What a great thing for a kid. Back in the day to go to a baseball game. I got a ticket framed, $4. My stepbrother was able to take me to a game. He didn't make a lot of money. $4 to go see him. It was the best time of my life. Saw the Yankees play the Angels.
That's
cool. They lost 1-0.
That's cool.
But here's where I think it may change. What's paying these salaries is not the ticket as much as they've raised ticket prices.
True. Very true.
It's the TV contract. And in order for TV contracts to be viable, you have to sell a lot of soap, a lot of food, a lot of cars. And in recessions, not that many are sold.
Yeah.
Than compared to when there's not a recession. You have China going through their economic situation, who's been propping up the NBA for years now. That may go away. So is this a recession that's a mirror image of the 70s recession, which we were able to make our way out of it? Or is there something else at work? I think there's something else at work. This one may be much more difficult to come back from. And I think the sports world may be in for a day of reckoning. And instead of, my goodness, I mean, do you have to make $80 million a year, one player on a team? I mean, they pass that on to the consumer.
Yeah. I don't know if that bothers me so much as I've always been one of the guys that say, like, you work hard, you deserve to get paid. And if someone's willing to pay you $80 million, good on you. If you're able to, and I don't agree with it, but I've never been the type that says, you know what, you should be capped. Because I think when we start thinking of...
No, I don't think it should be capped. I hope they're decimated. I hope the private... I'm talking about the free market system of work. I'm not talking about some communist dictator, Xi Jinping, coming in and saying, okay, we're going to cap the salaries of the NBA or Major League Baseball. I'm talking about the free market system doing a correction, a big correction like it's going to do in the stock market.
I don't think it will.
These companies were way overpriced.
Oh, yeah.
Way beyond what they were worth. Elon Musk even said that about Tesla. How many CEOs come out and said, hey, look, I wouldn't buy my stock right now.
It's too high.
It's way more than what I'm worth here, what we're worth.
Yeah.
And you need that correction.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. However, and I said
housing.
Yeah.
Don't you want to see housing correct itself?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, now we're in a situation where California housing is never going to correct itself. But you're always going to overpay for anything here in this state. However, the people that are always okay are the upper class and the wealthy. The recession is coming. It's not going to affect Tom Brady, just like it's going to affect Tom Smith. That's
or Joe Biden
or exactly.
AOC or Nancy Pelosi.
That's the reality. So these MLB, these athletes, these commissioners, these team owners, this ain't gonna hurt their pocketbook. So they're not gonna be able to sell $500 tickets. They'll sell $200 tickets, because people are still gonna buy it.
I'm predicting a domino effect.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I believe it will, and I think it's going to start in baseball. You're going to have teams declare bankruptcy.
No.
They're good. Oh, yeah.
I
When
don't
there's
know.
TV contracts, when they're reduced or taken away completely, because it's coming, they're going to come, the TV contracts, and say, Major League Baseball, that big lucrative deal we negotiated back in 2016, we have to renegotiate or we have to go away.
Yeah.
That's going to come. So I believe there's going to be some teams. Well, there are already some franchises that are way, way over the limit on what they're supposed to spend to maintain financial viability.
Yeah.
And they're going to go bankrupt. And that's going to be the domino. I think it'll start with Major League Baseball. The next one's going to be the NBA. And then the NFL will be next. And hockey will probably be skating along because they haven't really done,
Yeah.
But
the government will bail them out.
Oh, God, you're not going to bail
Oh,
sports teams
okay.
out.
If
You think there would be a pitchfork torch rebellion.
China will bail them out.
China's got their own economic problems.
They do, but trust me.
And then believe me, they're going to start with at home, not bailing out the Boston Celtics. They're going to have what they're going to do in Beijing to keep the riots down.
Well, they're going to.
That's what happens when you create a middle class. They tend to.
Yeah, that's
speak
true.
out.
That's true. But don't be surprised if the Chinese end up owning an NBA team soon.
Well, they own the whole NBA. Right
Yeah, there
now.
you go. The Cincinnati Commies.
That's
The Cincinnati Commies. The Minnesota Mouse.
the Shanghai Red Machine.
They all have crew cuts and they all wear red with stars on them. I mean, you're not going to be able to tell who's who.
The Beijing Comrades. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, something I think ground shaking happened in Texas with the election of a congressperson.
Oh, yeah.
And Myra Flores. And when we come back, I'd like you to break this down because she's got a tough go. She won. She got a tough go coming up in November. But I think this is a huge happening on the political landscape with what happened. We're going to talk more about that when we come back. This is Alan Autry, No Retreat, with Go Guillermo. But you don't go. You come right back. You hear? I'll come and get you if you don't. I tell you, I hadn't had those animals since I was a kid, and I never really liked them as a kid.
No, these are good, man.
Oh, let me tell you, I opened them up, poured me a big glass of milk.
Yeah.
And I dipped those little things in there. Bite into one of those things.
Oh man,
You'll be surprised how really good they are.
But how like a banana, like what's the wafers, the banana ones?
Vanilla wafers.
Vanilla wafer.
Shit. See what I got.
Bite the head off that elephant if you got it.
I got a bear. Hi, little bear. Free at last.
You're getting all Joe on me. You're getting a little senile there, Alan. Here's the deal, Tiger. Listen, man. I tried.
Look me right in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. I promise.
We're changing lives.
Well, I'm telling you, man, when he went off yesterday, though, I went, point of no return. People cannot unsee and unhear that. That was just a scene. He
These
came
are addicting.
across like a senile woman that gets really angry there in the nursing home. I don't mean that to be mean, folks. He's probably in control of his faculties. Are probably pretty strong for a 79-year-old guy. But when he got mad, I'm tired of it. He just, gosh. I remember people in my own life coming up when you see these old men go off. It's sad.
Mm-hmm.
When you're younger, you can go off like that. It's all right. When you're an old man, you go off like that. You can get passionate, but you can't get really angry. They just don't.
And the acoustic just wasn't good in the building either, just making them sound worse.
And then he's going to get on. I know his next one will be about being called a liar.
Yeah.
You know?
See what other story he comes out with.
Oh, he'll get ticked off.
Scranton, Joe.
I'm tired of being called a liar.
Tired of it.
Not a liar.
I grew up in Scranton.
That's right, Pennsylvania.
That place was a crap hole.
Yes.
America's not a crap hole yet. I came from a crap hole. I know. Here's the deal.
We were all crap in the crap hole. We were all equal. We worked together to stay crap. We did. And if somebody made their way out of that, we celebrated that.
Yep.
We went from a crab to a turd. We celebrated that. in Scranton. But you all jealous. And you're saying that gas is $8, $10 a gallon. What's wrong with that?
It's not 11.
What's wrong with that? The more you pay for something, the more you appreciate it. If it was $2 a gallon of gas, you wouldn't appreciate that gallon of gas. But if it's $10 a gallon of gas, you'll appreciate that $10 gallon of gas.
30 seconds.
You'll appreciate it more. We're getting soft in America.
That's true. Oh, man. Did you see? Talk about it on my show today, FUSD.
I want to know. It was about Bullard? I've had this on my list.
That.
I want to get
the Pride thing. The Pride proclamation. Pride Month.
What did Professor Static have to say?
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
And welcome back to Alan Autry No Retreat, Thunderous Thursday. Already almost halfway through the show, man. So interesting so far if you just joined us. We've talked everything from Joe Biden's rant to Barnum and Bailey animal crackers. It's just a very interesting show. Eclectic. Something for everybody. Hey, this Maya Flores election, folks, in Texas, in a deep blue district. There are some blue districts in Texas. People don't think so. But, Austin, very liberal area there. But she unseated a fellow named Sanchez, won 51-43 in a special election. I guess somebody there retired.
Who went to take a lobbying job. Because he
did?
Yeah, because he knew he was going to get elected this time around.
Is that what happened?
Oh, yeah. I forget the number. The CAGOP chair told me it was like maybe 70-ish Congress members knew that the red wave was coming. So they're like, I better take those lobbying jobs now.
Well, the pundits, both on the right and left, say that Mrs. Flores, by the way, great story on her, but she, Mexican born, came over here, did it the right way, worked out in the fields. Got herself educated, loves America, thinks that the border should be secure forever, and for the people coming over here. This dangerous, horrible policy we have where these coyotes are bringing people over indiscriminately, raping, murdering, whatever. She knows. We should listen to somebody like this. Their story. That's why she's for securing the border. And strong family values. Just a great, great story. But Guillermo, apparently, she's got her hands full in November because she's going to run against a fellow named Vicente Gonzalez, who is very well regarded there. Have you done any research on him at all?
Not the opponent. No.
Yeah, she's. Don't you know? I take a step back and just knowing the political climate. Isn't she, the left in particular, the squad's worst nightmare?
Oh.
She's a woman, very attractive.
Yep. Immigrant.
Conservative. Great communicator.
Yes.
If she gets into Congress, number one, she'll AOC will no longer be the best looking female congressman.
Well, I mean, I don't know if she is already.
Well, her and Nancy Pelosi run a close race.
Have you seen Liz?
No, let's don't get there. Don't go Trump. No, we're not going to talk about female. But she's a very attractive young lady, family person, which Miss Cortez is not. She says, basically, I'm not even going to have kids. Why are you having kids? And basically, there's no traditional family, mother and father. We shouldn't even have that. But just the fact that she's so convincing on conservative values, doesn't that make her a big target in November? Shouldn't we expect a ton of money going to that race against her?
Oh, you're going to have tons of silent money. The thing that I found interesting about this was the fact that no Democrat came out and said, you're the first Mexican-born female to serve in the United States Congress. Where was Joe Biden's congratulatory? Where was Kamala's tweet?
Not even a tweet.
Not even a tweet.
Not even a tweet.
Not even a Facebook post. None of that.
Well, we know that that's a rhetorical question.
Oh, we do, yeah.
But when these things happen, folks, that are so glaring, pay attention to them. File them away. Just keep that picture in your mind, because this whole charade, and you pointed this out on your show a lot for several years, and a lot of shows point out, because it is a really important thing to remember. I'm not saying there's Democrats that don't care about women's rights. don't care about democracy. There are. But those that are controlling the party, I will boldly say and comfortably say they do not. They're not really for women's rights and accomplishment of women or true democracy, because it's actually about the furthering of an ideology. Because if it was about women's rights, women, in particular women of color, doing historic things and making a step and bringing all of the gender along with them, then they would point out, we may differ politically. I'm speaking on behalf of the squad. If they would say something like this, we would get it, and they'd get a lot more votes. It'd be a lot more credible, saying we don't agree with them ideology, but going back, Condoleezza Rice, way to go, sister.
Yeah, absolutely.
This girl, Mayra, don't agree with you much politically, but way to go, sister. No, it's not about that. It's not. It's never been about advancing the rights of women in this country. It's about advancing a very dangerous, toxic ideology rooted in Marxism.
Yeah,
correct?
Absolutely. And we see this time and time again. If you see minorities and they're Republicans or conservatives, they don't count. They're you can't count them. They're insignificant. Their achievements mean nothing because of their political party preference. Political parties just ruin everything. You notice that? I mean,
well, and you go back again to the wisdom of the founding fathers on that very subject. I forget who it was, but it was one of the biggies. It was Jefferson, Adams, Washington, somewhere, I think. But they came out to be very, very careful about political parties that could destroy this great republic that we have. Kind of in the vein that Dwight Eisenhower said, be very careful of the military-industrial complex.
Mm-hmm.
You will never satisfy their voracious need for resources in war. They will drain a country dry economically, and they'll want to get into pretty much every war. It's like General Patton said, an entire world at war, and I'm to be left out of it? God will not permit this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God we had him in World War II, but that is, as we're seeing in Ukraine, Afghanistan, everywhere you get, has Lindsey Graham ever seen a war he didn't like? Seriously.
No.
And I like some of Lindsey's position. I can say that. People say I don't get on Republicans. Have you been listening to the show?
You're convincing me to get on Republicans.
Oh, my gosh. Come on. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't care. You can't put an R or D by your name and think you're going to be safe with a common sense, free mind.
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham, it's...
But back to Flores.
But back to Fauci.
No, not him. Back to Flores.
I saved you on that, by the way.
You did.
I saved you.
I know. Yeah, I would have been on
I know you didn't want. You want Fauci to be fully recovered, but not at the CDC.
Not at the CDC. There you go. Recover at home. Stay home for a while. So the interesting thing here is that was a deep...
Such a sincere comment. It was just dripping sincere. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Deep blue, and I was it 14 percentage points that Donald Trump lost that district. Romney lost it by 20. This is a deep blue seat.
It's blue like the ocean.
This has to worry the Democrats on a big scale, because this is what happens too when we find the right candidate. Elections.
Well, they totally miss. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, they don't. Yeah. You got to find the right candidate.
But haven't the Democratic strategists completely missed what's been going on now for years and probably decades now in the Hispanic community? They felt they could take a culture rooted in hard work, faith, family values, traditional family values, and turn them into a godless ethnicity that doesn't believe in mother or father or patriarch or matriarch. None of that, and worship the country.
Yeah,
worship the system, and they have to look at these numbers that they're seeing. That 20%, only 20% support Joe Biden. Hispanic community agree with Biden's policies. This is all Hispanics all around the country.
Yep,
that's got to shock the living daylights out of them.
Yeah, 2 points here.
Didn't they see it coming?
Oh yeah, they saw it coming. They
didn't see it.
You don't think they did?
No,
I think they had to.
Why would they keep the same policies?
Because
why wouldn't they not acknowledge?
They see it, but I think they
live in the bubble.
They live in the bubble, but they believe that, hey, the American family's taking it. The American family is okay with gender identity. The Latino family, they're going to be okay with it too. That's where you have a brick.
So isn't that the ultimate in kind of soft but it's actually very obvious racism.
Oh, for sure.
Bifurcating that group from the American white family, and here's the Mexican family, which, no, you look in Texas, Hispanics have assimilated and to become Texans.
Yeah.
Are as much you find a Hispanic from Texas, what I've found, from Texas, conservative Hispanic from Texas. You talk about the guy with the red hat and the gun in the pickup truck. They're nothing compared to these Hispanics in terms of conservatism.
Not at all. Exactly.
I mean, and that's a misread. They didn't see this coming and make the adjustments, and I think they're going to pay an awful price come November.
They are. And here's the second thing that I think is really great for us and really bad for the Democrats is that not all Latinos are the same. The Puerto Ricans in New York, the Venezuelans and the Cubans in Florida, and the Mexicans out here on the West Coast are all different. So the Venezuelans and the Cubans and the Puerto Ricans, they get it. Because they come from a time and they come from a country where they know how this ends. They know how socialism ends, and they know what hard times look like. The Mexican Latino south of the border doesn't. They should realize it, but they're different. And Mexicans don't like to be called Puerto Ricans. Venezuelans don't like to be called Mexicans. So they're actually really different groups. The reason why Flores' win is huge is because in the Mexican community, conservatism really hasn't taken root as strong as it has in the Cuban and Venezuelan communities. So this win of the first Mexican-born female immigrant is huge because now what happened to the Venezuelan, Latino, the Puerto Rican, the Cuban, if the Mexican community starts to start thinking like them, they're done because you got California, you got Nevada, you got Arizona, you got Texas. That's a big block. Then.
I mean to interrupt you, Guillermo, but I think it boils down to they made a big strategic error. And the people need to understand that still care about this country. Take this opportunity and run with it. In the education system, everything. Come in, get involved. Because the Democratic leadership made a decision at least 2 decades, probably 3 decades, but really picked up steam in the last 6-7 years, that they could convince the vast majority of the people this country to hate their country.
Mm-hmm.
They felt they could do that.
For sure.
And they found out that, you know what? People don't want to hate their country. They don't want to hate where they live. They have differences, but they want to work out those differences. You have too much interracial marriage now to demonize one race over there. You have too many whites and blacks being married, Hispanics and whites, Hispanics and blacks, they really, really misread, I think, what this country. Now, having said that, you can't get in this comfort zone because Marxism is relentless, and it will take advantage of every situation that comes up. And we still have to understand human nature. Human nature is to take the path of least resistance, and human nature loves free things they don't have to work for.
Mm-hmm.
So we who believe in hard work and what it intrinsically gives you positively inside your soul, along with that paycheck, that just giving somebody for nothing, what that does to your soul, that's a tougher message to deliver, and you have to deliver it constantly, and you have to be very good and clear and smart on how you deliver that, especially to the kids. When you say, well, why should I work for something I can get free? That's a thing you have. Well, then you have to be able in our school system to go into those areas of, well, let me tell you what. It's more important for you to make your bed in the morning, not have your mom make it. Because when you do it yourself, you're going to feel good about yourself because you helped the family. You did something to help your mom not have to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Carrying your own weight, being part of a group and working. Those, again, are things that we took for granted that the left hopes to take out of society. So it's always going to be there, lest we rest on our laurels, which you point out a lot.
Oh, yeah.
About even coming up in November, correct?
Exactly.
Don't do victory laps.
Don't do victory laps, and you better deliver. But here's the other problem, and I was on the phone with one of the CRA presidents in the area, and she was telling me, Guillermo, I was at the gas station.
What's CRA?
California Republican Assembly.
Okay.
Ronald Reagan said that was the conservative heart.
Okay.
Of anyhow.
See, I promise people you hear these in acronyms, and CRA, NRA, blah, blah, blah. We need to know what they are. Okay, go ahead.
Listen up, AA.
I guess.
Alan Autry.
Okay, Triple G.
I love it. Guy rolled up to the gas station. Trump, America, Second Amendment. and she goes up to him and says, hey, this is great. We'd love you. Here's a card. Join our chapter. And then she's like, hey, did you vote? And he goes, no, I didn't vote. Like, what do you mean you didn't vote? He goes, yeah, it's all rigged.
Yeah,
So,
that's a bad mindset.
So listen.
That's a bad mindset.
We don't spike the football, but darn it, Republicans have to show up. If Republicans don't show up in November, we're not going to win it. They're going to lose it. I want to be very clear. We're not going to win it. They're going to lose it.
They got to show up early and often.
Yes, and here's the other problem. Chicago. I love it. That's right. The other problem with this, Alan, is...
You curse the darkness or turn on the light, man.
Well, I guess you can't get them
One
all.
of those drop boxes right inside your house. How many ballots can you get printed off here? Oh, no, print and go. We can go get them.
No,
I'm kidding.
What we should do is put ballot boxes right at the gas stations.
Yeah.
That ought to remind them, hey, fill out your ballot right here. Go ahead, turn it in.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
I just want to make it easy for people to vote.
Finish
Alan.
your thought. We got Laura on the line. We're going to go to break here, but I want you to finish your brilliant thought because it is brilliant, by the way.
Well, here's the other factor.
Yes, give me another factor.
The Democrats are always...
Remember the factor with Bill Riley?
Yeah. Well, he's doing... I'll talk about that. He's really tall in person, by the way.
He is.
He's a huge guy.
Yeah, and I saw a commercial on Fox. They might be letting him back in the door.
Yeah.
Have you forgotten your thought already?
No.
What is it? Go ahead with your thought.
All right. Here's the other thing we have to be very cautious of. The Democrats are always a step ahead of us. Always. Mm-hmm. Always. And this is why I'm weary. They're not doing anything right now. They're not doing anything to mitigate the oncoming red wave. That's sneaky. When you haven't seen your kid in a while, and they've been awfully quiet. Like, wait, what are you guys up? What are you up to? And then lo and behold, you find them, dumping baby powder all over your floor or putting the maple syrup all over the bathtub. So the Democrats are doing that right now. I don't know what they're up to. I can't put my finger on it. But here's the other thing with the Latino family. Now we're in a generation now where you have second and third generation Latinos born here. Okay. The first generation understands they immigrated here. They know what hard work is like. They're not afraid of hard work, and they're going to instill it. They provided a better life for their kids. Their kids are now growing up in our educational system and are now liberalized. I can't tell you how many Latinos are now jumping on the LGBTQ movement. So the problem is this. Congratulations, you're finally reaching the Latinos. You're a generation or two way too late. We can't show up to the party late. We're showing up to the party late on election reform. We're showing up to the party. We're late. We're not even voting. Midterms come. Again, we're not going to win it.
Yeah.
They're going to lose it.
Well, I agree. A lot to be aware of. The good news is I think there is an awakening happening. I think the Democrats brought it on themselves, and thank goodness that you did. This stimulus bill, I think, has really explained a lot to folks the basics of economics, that you just can't pump a bunch of phony money. I can't tell you how many young people I've talked to. I mean, literally, I've lost count. And we start talking about economics, and they go, well, why don't you just print more money? Mm-hmm. They don't understand that basic concept because they didn't go over that in school. Because it's been liberalized. Hey, you just print more money. Well, that's what they did in Mexico. That's why it's 900,000 pesos for a cup of coffee. Your money, back in the 1920s in this country, they were burning money. They were lighting stoves with money as part of a protest because the money was worth nothing. You have to have, and I think the stimulus, which I said when it happened, is going to be the most expensive stimulus check ever. You're going to pay for this in ways that you're going to find out real soon.
You said it.
So this thing, and it that happened. I'd love to hear you say that.
No, you're right.
You're right.
You're on the right.
Well, you know who's right a lot is Miss Laura Fisher. We're going to come to her. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. She's got some information on the January 6th and an attempted assassination on Vladimir Putin.
Was Lindsay over there?
We'll be right back. Yeah.
Where's Lindsay?
He's in battle fatigue. Here. I'm coming for you, Vladimir.
I don't want to kill him. I'm just over here. This isn't a gun. I'm with a scope.
Wouldn't that just completely paralyze Putin with fear to see Lindsey Graham come? I'm going to get you here, all the way from South Carolina. Now, give me that gift. Give me that M16. Which end do I hold? No, Lindsay, you turn it around. Okay.
I'm ready.
Watch you, little Russian commie. I've been after you for the last 35 years.
He's been awfully quiet.
Who?
Lindsay.
Putin has to. as they're kicking butt over there. Noticed?
Yeah.
They're trying Macron and Olaf Scholz. They said, listen, you. And then should talk about this when the radio folks. We don't get it today. We'll hit it tomorrow. Even Milley has come up. Austin saying two different things. It's typical of this administration. There's no coordinated message out on any subject. But Milley has said, look, I'm not saying Ukraine doesn't have a chance to win this war, but it's not looking good because they're outgunned 15-1. And men, materials, everything. And in contrast to Austin, said they just sent $1 billion over there today with the message of, we're here for as long as it takes. You know, I just want to, that's what gets me, because when you make statements like that, people lose their lives. No, you're not here as long as it takes. You weren't there as long as it takes in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
You orchestrated that withdrawal, which created ISIS, which killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people. You orchestrated the surrender there in Afghanistan, which got a bunch of people killed, including 4 Americans. And you're saying you're going to stay as long as it takes. Number one, Austin, that's not your call to make. You don't call, that's Congress and the president, how long we stay in there. Through the American people, through those elected bodies, not you. You don't say how long you're going to be in a war. You haven't heard Biden say that, as long as it takes.
Yeah.
What are they doing? They step out of their, that's what happens when you step out of their lane, these people, and try to be something that they're not.
They're not organized. There's no
God.
organization.
Well, no organization.
No one would have done that in an Obama administration. They knew the chain of command, and I don't agree with it, but... with
Obama, I draw the difference between Obama's administration and Biden administration. There's the difference between disaster and catastrophe.
Yeah.
Obama was a disaster. Biden administration is a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Obama was the Biden starter kit. It put in place all the things.
I like that. Yeah, it was.
All the things that Biden took to the
30
next
seconds?
level. If you looked at Transform America, tear America down. Yeah. Obama was just, and I still find it very interesting that he's coming back on the scene.
Oh, I got to do a correction about the Liz Cheney thing because I was wrong. And then ask me about this Obama thing. I was running, and I had an epiphany.
10 seconds.
Did you?
It was like,
you want to do it before we go to Laura? How long will your epiphany last?
A minute.
We'll go to your epiphany, and then we'll give Laura, because I know she's just biting at the bit.
Oh, you know it.
She sent me some stuff on Ashley.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
Guillermo, I'd wait to the midnight hour to do this show.
What does this song mean?
Oh, it means you're going to wait whatever to do something good and fun. Who knows?
Oh, wait. Why
it was one of the 3 songs that Spanish Knights knew at Riverdale High School that we danced. They played it every dance. Midnight Hour, Louie, and another one.
These lyrics, they don't mean it. I'm telling you.
You know, we're going to have a song off here one day. Your generation, I'm going to play one, then yours.
I'm ready.
We'll let the Autry's Army and Moreno's Marauders sit there and vote on who's. Okay, give me your epiphany, because then we're going to go for Laura.
Really
Laura
quick.
Hang on there, Laura. We're coming.
I was wrong. I'm not like all the other.
Say that again?
It doesn't happen very often. So I was wrong.
Okay.
I said Liz Cheney lost yesterday. I apologized. I misread a headline, and yesterday or the Tuesday night was a bad omen for Liz Cheney, so I apologize. The Wyoming primary is not until August. I'm not even pretend like I know. It's beginning of August. So the second thing I want to say is I had an episphany yesterday. I was running. It was also like 100 degrees, so I don't know if I was just losing my mind or everything was getting hazy.
Did music accompany the epiphany?
No, but birds were talking to me. It's the weirdest thing.
That's good.
A little Tweety bird. So I thought to myself, if the Obamas really wanted to get back in the game, they would move to California, okay, and then tell Gavin Newsom to tell Dianne Feinstein to kick it to the curb, and then you know where I'm going?
Yeah.
And then appoint Michelle Obama to the United States Senate.
I hope they don't listen to this show.
I hope they don't either.
Not that we're afraid of Michelle Obama. I think she'll self-destruct. But
I'm afraid of her.
That would be a brilliant. Hey, I could take Michelle Obama in a fight.
My money's on her.
No,
my money's
come
on
on.
Michelle.
I'm saying, hey, come on. If we would, I mean, I've never hit a woman, but I could take her in the ring in the UFC just in a straight. Well, I could. One punch. I mean, she could give me her best shot.
Let me get you out of this one, Laura. Let's go to Laura.
Let's go to Laura. Laura, are you there?
I'm here.
Do you think if we fought, which I would never hit a woman, but I mean, just at the hypothetical, if I was in the ring with Michelle Obama, I'm 69, she's young and strong, but I would take her, right? Huh?
I don't know. She look like a man.
Oh gosh, I'm not going there. All right, let's go to January 7th. Oh, God.
Hold on. Would you hit Caitlyn Jenner?
Well, no, we got a precious little time, and Laura's got real important information about January 6th.
This is just turning into like weird porn.
Well, that was a notch up from what I would describe it as. So we'll take weird porn. Hey, listen, what you got there? You got me tantalized. Not about the porn either.
Number one, your email is full of documents with the Ashley Babbitt shooting investigation.
Okay.
All 532 are in your inbox.
Thank you.
Can you email me too?
However,
I'll forward it to you.
Okay.
I got inside
I don't have your email, darling. I don't have your email.
G Moreno at KXEXradio.com. G Moreno at KXEXradio.com. And liberals out there who are listening, don't sign me up for Bernie stuff. You know how many Stacey Abrams things I get? G Moreno at KXEXradio.com. Only for conservatives.
You'd be a big fish for them to get. If they could take you, they could convert you.
The junk that I get.
If they could get you to come over, though. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That you get all this good information, Alan. Okay, so anyway, there's another 102 coming. I have to look through them to make sure I'm not sending duplicates, but the final report is in that 102.
Okay.
Anyway, I also got a copy of the sovereign immunity case that Nancy Pelosi took before a federal court to suppress over 14,000 hours of video footage from January 6th from surveillance cameras. She also suppressed 38,000 pages of documents and 220 affidavits. So there are currently 27 lawsuits making their way through against this. The first one's going to be heard on the 22nd, so don't you know, as soon as I get any information on that, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I wonder why they don't just release them.
Well, you know.
Yeah, okay.
So now I can't give you any sources, but I got a hold of a couple intelligence reports. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But apparently there was an assassination attempt against Vladimir Putin, and it coincides with the time frame of the 8 oligarchs who claimed to have been poisoned when they had a meeting and went to a luncheon with
remember
Putin.
that?
And you and I spent 30 minutes trying to figure out why Putin was
I remember that conversation very well.
There.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks as though there was an assassination attempt on his life at that time. And there have been over 100 photographs of him wearing gloves since that time. And I know there have been videos that have been put out there that people have made suppositions that he's sick, maybe has Parkinson's, but all of those symptoms that he's exhibited in these videos are side effects from neurotoxins.
Oh, wow.
And neurotoxins are absorbed by the skin.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if he wasn't poisoned and what we're seeing are the side effects. Because, I mean, there are people that are claiming he's sick, that he has cancer. In one of the intelligence reports, it does state that he did receive cancer treatment. I don't know if I buy that. I'm with you. And Lavrov made a good point. You know, Sergei Lavrov, I think, is his deputy secretary of information. I don't know what the official title is. But he said, look, president's everywhere. He's not hiding. He's everywhere. He does speeches every day. He's fine. That makes sense that, you know, he could have been hit with something.
It does.
Able to work his way through it. But I was just sitting here thinking, you know, those that want to commit suicide, you know, they hang themselves, unfortunately, shoot themselves, jump off of tall buildings. Probably the surest and easiest way to commit suicide is to attempt an assassination on Putin and fail.
That'd get you there quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to make you wonder, because the only people that were there, I mean, that Abramovich is the one that came out and said that they were all poisoned. He didn't say Putin was. Maybe he wasn't made aware of that, but that these 8 oligarchs who were all involved in Ukrainian negotiations were all poisoned. 2 of them almost died. They were still hospitalized when he came out and said that they had been poisoned.
Yeah.
The only people that were present were Soviet generals or Russian generals, Lavrov, and members of the Duma, and the 8 oligarchs. And
let me ask you this. We just have about 3 minutes. Excuse me. This is just fascinating, Lori, because I know when you bring it to us, you're kind of like me in the fact to say, hey, you can take this to the bank, or this is something I've done a lot of research. This is what I have a strong feeling could have happened. Or if you said, hey, this is just a gut feeling. That's all a disclaimer I want on something. Somebody's giving me information on something like that. And this is fascinating because you do have some circumstantial stuff that really lends itself to further conversation. But my question here in the last 3 minutes for you, and I want Go Guillermo, what do you make of this seemingly pullback from coverage all around the world? I get news feeds, Politico, Al Jazeera, of all places. I look at them all.
Yeah.
And there seems to be a pullback on the coverage of the Ukraine. Not too long ago, you'd get on pretty much every outlet. Ukraine's winning the war. Ukraine's on top. Ukraine takes this region. Russian army decimated. Russians can't get enough soldiers to go fight. They're running back to Donbass. And now you don't hear much of anything. I mean, comparatively, you'll see a story once in a while. What's your take on it?
But it's the same as Afghanistan. When we withdrew from Afghanistan, that's all we saw for 30 days, and it's not the flavor of the week anymore. People aren't interested in it anymore. It doesn't engage them. It's not giving them ratings, so they have to move on to something even more disgusting.
And could it be also though that we're seeing victory after victory by the Russians in Donbass, just like a grinded out machine? They take Mariupol, they take Severodonetsk, they're taking entrenched even further in Luhansk and Donetsk up there in the Donbass region. They've cut off the Black Sea. They're pounding away artillery into even Kiev. And then you have Zelensky saying, look, we're behind on this thing. We can't keep up. And that maybe they were all in and made all, as my used to say in the South, made, that their alligator mouth overload their hummingbird butt, meaning all of these countries that came out and said, Ukraine's going to win. And they're giving them all of these resources, all these bombs and all the artillery. Now they're cutting back and saying, we can't afford, we're heading towards a recession. We can't afford to send this stuff there. Do you think maybe that's playing into it?
Well, unfortunately, most of these countries followed the lead of Lord Voldemort of the State Department and believed everything they said without giving any consideration. The only one that even considered maybe we should try to negotiate more is Macron. And that's only because he has spent more time he's the only Western leader that spent the most time with Putin. He met with him 5 times over an 18-month period. But everybody else goes by intelligence reports and what they're told about Putin. And I think they grossly underestimate.
I agree.
They thought, it's going to be over. He's going to lose, and we're going to come out looking great. And that's not how it's turned out.
I agree. Well, Laura, thank you for calling in. You hear that music? It's time to go. We got 10 seconds. Go, Guillermo. Thank you, folks.
Anytime.
Thank you coming, folks, on online and then and out there in Radio Land. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. God bless America. Remember, just do your best. Let God do the rest. We'll be right back on Friday. Are we still on social media? You keep hopefully we are. Folks, we got a little scheduling thing. Tomorrow, the show's going to go live at 10.
At 10 a.m., yeah.
10 a.m. They cut it? Okay.
Oh.
Well, we can put a...
Well,
yeah, we wanted, oddly, we didn't want it to cut.
This is what we'll do. We'll,
No.
We'll record it at 10, and then we can air it live at 12. Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree.
Hey, folks, still on there. We just heard a little scheduling thing for tomorrow due to some things going on here at the studio. We will be going live, I'll launch No Retreat at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. live. Early in the morning for me. I'll have to work out. I'll have to do this show, then go work out instead of working out and the show. And I don't know. We'll figure out. We might air it again at noon.
Yeah.
Go Guillermo will figure that out. But 10 a.m. for sure, good Lord willing. And so we'll see you tomorrow.